Stop. Be honest with yourself. Do you believe you'll finally be happy when you get what you're chasing? More money, more freedom, a better body, a different life? If the answer is yes, you've already stepped into the most dangerous illusion of our time. Happiness isn't something you arrive at. It's a mirage that moves every time you take a step forward. We've turned happiness into a prize. We measure it, compare it, display it. But the more we chase it, the more it fades. Like trying to grab your reflection in moving water. The tighter you hold, the faster it slips away. Alan Watts once said you can't try to be happy, just like you can't try to sleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. That's the paradox of our time. We're not exhausted because we've failed. We're exhausted because we're working too hard to feel like we've succeeded. You don't travel to happiness. You travel with it, and that simple difference changes everything. I'm not telling you to give up on goals or ambition. I'm not asking you to stop caring. What I'm showing you is the silent trap behind every pursuit of happiness. The harder you try to hold it, the more it escapes you. Alan Watts called this the wisdom of insecurity. The moment you stop demanding life to make you happy, you begin to see that it already has. Happiness isn't something to protect or prove. It's what remains when you stop trying to control it. I stop chasing. I start seeing. When happiness becomes a reward, someone else decides when you deserve it. The world starts to pull your strings without you even noticing. You hand over the power to make you feel alive, to likes, promotions, and approval. You let algorithms and opinions tell you when you're enough. And each time you whisper, "I'll be happy when," you tighten the leash around your own mind. You don't live anymore, you wait. Alan Watts saw this decades ago. He said that our obsession with certainty, with control, is what creates fear. The more we try to make life safe, the more anxious we become. The same is true for happiness. The moment you make it a condition, it turns into a threat. Because if joy depends on something outside of you, that thing owns you. A worker who ties his worth to a paycheck will never rest. A man who waits for love to heal him will always chase ghosts. A mind that seeks constant validation will never feel peace. Each of them believes happiness is out there, in the next raise, the next touch, the next post. But it never is. Psychologists now prove what Watts already understood. In a global study, thousands of people tracked their emotions throughout the day. The result was brutal and simple. The more the mind wandered away from the present, the less happy they felt, no matter what they were thinking about. When your attention leaves this moment, your happiness leaves with it. You don't need to lose happiness to understand it. You only need to notice how easily you give it away. The more conditions you set, the more control you surrender. So stop trading your peace for promises. Stop letting the world hold your remote. Happiness isn't hiding from you. It's waiting for you to stop running from it. I protect my presence. You can't outrun a shadow. The faster you move, the faster it follows. That's the pursuit trap. The lie that if you just keep pushing, you'll finally arrive somewhere called happiness. But no matter how far you go, that place keeps shifting. It's always one raise away, one vacation away, one version of you away. And when you finally get there, it's already gone. Alan Watts compared this to trying to fall asleep. The more you try, the more awake you become. Happiness works the same way. The more you chase it, the more you reinforce the idea that you don't have it. You turn joy into a goal, not a state of being. You make it conditional, something to be earned. And the moment happiness depends on effort, it stops being happiness, it becomes labor. Modern psychology calls this the hedonic treadmill. You adapt to every win so quickly that you need the next one to feel alive. You move faster, achieve more, buy more, post more, but the baseline never changes. A study found that lottery winners, after a short burst of euphoria, return to the same level of happiness they had before winning. Even accident survivors months later found themselves back to normal. Pleasure fades, desire resets, and the chase begins again. We don't realize that the speed itself is the trap. You can't chase peace with anxiety. You can't fight for freedom with fear. Every step you take toward someday is a step away from right now. Alan Watts once said that life is not a journey toward a destination. It's a musical thing. You don't listen to music to get to the end. You listen because of the notes in between. But we've turned living into a competition, rushing through the melody, desperate to arrive at the silence. You don't travel to happiness. You travel with it. Stop running after the next high. Slow down long enough to let the music play. I exit the pursuit. We live in a culture that rewards the performance of happiness more than the experience of it. We've been trained to smile for the camera, to act fine, to post proof that we're okay. The image has become more valuable than the feeling. People no longer ask, "Are you happy?" They ask, "Do you look happy?" And when the show is convincing enough, no one questions the emptiness behind it. Alan Watts warned about this long before social media existed. He said that the ego, the I we keep polishing and defending, is just a story we tell ourselves. A mask built to protect us from the chaos of being alive. The problem is we start believing the mask is who we are. We confuse the actor with the character, the reflection with the face. When that happens, happiness turns into a role you have to keep playing. You're not living to feel, you're living to prove. So you curate your joy, you rehearse your peace, you edit your life until it looks meaningful, even when it doesn't feel that way anymore. And the more convincing you become, the less you can remember who's behind the act. The mask wins, but the man underneath disappears. Watts called this the taboo against knowing who you are. Society fears authenticity because real joy can't be controlled. An honest man is unpredictable. A genuine life can't be marketed. So the system needs you to keep performing, to keep buying new ways to look happy. But pretending to be happy doesn't make you whole. It only makes the emptiness louder when the applause fades. At some point, you have to stop acting and start being. Happiness isn't what you show. It's what you feel when there's nothing left to prove. Take off the mask. Let the silence breathe. For once, don't smile for the world. Smile because you forgot to think about it. I drop the mask. I keep the truth. We've been told that happiness can be bought, measured, and optimized. That if you work hard enough, earn enough, achieve enough, you'll finally deserve to feel good. But no one ever tells you that the cost of chasing happiness is the very attention that could have made you happy in the first place. Every time you buy another promise, scroll through another quick fix, or work one more late night for a reward that never comes, you spend the only currency that matters, your presence. Alan Watts once asked, "What do you desire?" Not what you should want or what others told you to want, but what actually makes you come alive. He warned that when your work becomes only a means to an end, the joy of mastery dies. The craftsman becomes a machine. The dancer becomes an employee. The moment life is reduced to utility, meaning starts to rot. The same economy rules happiness. We're told to invest our time like investors in status, productivity, and self-improvement, but no one explains that attention is a zero-sum game. Whatever you give to the world's noise is stolen from the quiet that could have made you whole. Modern studies show that our average attention span has dropped to seconds. We check our phones hundreds of times a day, not out of need but out of habit, a reflex of emptiness. And every notification whispers the same lie, that happiness is waiting just one more click away. But happiness isn't a product, and life isn't a transaction. You don't earn peace through efficiency. You discover it when you stop outsourcing your worth to the marketplace, when you stop measuring your joy in metrics that were never yours to begin with. You are not what you buy, or what you post, or what you achieve. You are what you pay attention to. I invest in presence, not props. There is a word the modern world has almost forgotten. Wu Wei. Alan Watts called it the art of not forcing. Doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting without strain, without the constant inner tension that demands results before they arrive. It's the opposite of control. It's cooperation with the flow of life itself. You've been taught that effort equals virtue, that every outcome must be wrestled into existence. But Watts saw through that illusion. He said that life, like water, cannot be pushed. You can guide it, you can move with it, but the harder you try to dam it up, the more violent it becomes. The same is true for happiness. You can't bully it into showing up. You can only create the conditions where it has no reason to hide. Modern psychology calls this state flow. It's when your mind and your actions move as one. When the challenge matches your skill, when awareness dissolves into motion, when time stops measuring itself. Flow is the scientific echo of Wu Wei. It's the point where discipline becomes instinct and peace becomes performance. To live this way, you don't need a new philosophy. You need new rituals, simple ones, the kind that return you to the rhythm that life already moves by. Start with the breath. 10 seconds, 10 times a day. Ask yourself, what am I chasing right now? Then stop. Let that question breathe with you. That's your audit. Next, give yourself one block of time every day to play. Not to win, not to post, but to play. Do something for no reason, except that it feels alive in your hands. Cook, paint, build, run. Let the act be its own reward. That's your practice. And before every big decision, try the Wu Wei check. Ask, if I stopped forcing, what would move naturally? Most of the time, the answer is already waiting. Quiet, patient, obvious. Wu Wei isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's the highest form of control, the kind that no longer needs to be controlling. You don't command the river, you ride it. You don't capture the wind, you sail with it. I coordinate with life. Pleasure doesn't last. It was never meant to. Every high fades, every victory dulls. Every new beginning becomes ordinary again. Yet we still act surprised when joy slips through our fingers, as if life broke a promise it never made. Alan Watts said that happiness and pain are two sides of the same coin, inseparable, necessary, and beautifully alive. You can't erase one without flattening the other. Modern life tells you to eliminate discomfort, to stay constantly stimulated, to fill every silence with sound, every pause with a screen, every low with a quick hit of dopamine. But without contrast, there's no depth. Without the shadows, the light becomes meaningless. Watts often compared life to music. A melody needs both sound and rest, notes and spaces. Remove the pauses, and what remains is just noise. Pain gives joy its shape. Loss gives love its urgency. Every low point stretches the soul so it can hold more when the good returns. But we've been tricked into thinking that the goal of living is to feel good all the time. That illusion is why we end up numb, not happy, not sad, just overstimulated and underwhelmed. You don't need to run from discomfort. You need to listen to what it's teaching you. The ache after failure, the silence after heartbreak, the emptiness after success. All of it reminds you that happiness isn't supposed to be permanent. It's supposed to be felt, then released, like breath, like music. So create space for the stillness. Leave gaps in your day that nothing fills. Turn off the noise, walk without a goal, breathe without expectation. That's how you reset the texture of your life. That's how you remember what joy actually feels like. Happiness without pain is like a song with no silence, loud, endless, and empty. I restore contrast. Happiness isn't measured by what you plan to do. It's revealed by what you actually practice. Most people intend to live with peace, to slow down, to be present, but their habits tell a different story. They wake up reaching for a screen. They eat while checking notifications. They fall asleep thinking about the next thing to chase. The world has taught them to confuse motion with meaning. Alan Watts said that life isn't a problem to solve, but an experience to be lived. Yet we treat every day like a project that needs improvement. We set goals for joy. We track our progress toward peace and then wonder why both feel so far away. The truth is, intentions are cheap. What matters is attention. Where it goes, everything follows. Presence isn't philosophy, it's discipline. It's measured in minutes unbroken by distraction. In the quiet you allow between thoughts. In the moments when you stop performing and simply exist. Watts compared it to music again. The meaning of a song isn't in its final note, it's in how you listen while it plays. So measure your life differently, not by the trophies you collect, but by the depth of your attention. Count how many moments you were truly here. Keep track of how often you stopped chasing and started breathing. These are the metrics that matter. They tell you whether you're living or just existing. Happiness will not come from the goals you set, but from the way you walk toward them. The only real progress is the ability to be fully awake while moving forward. You don't need a better plan. You need a clearer presence. I measure presence, not performance. Freedom begins when nothing can be sold to you. The moment you stop believing that happiness depends on something outside yourself, you become untouchable. Society runs on promises, the next product, the next upgrade, the next solution that will finally make you complete. But every promise has a price. It demands your time, your attention, your peace. Alan Watts warned that the man who needs nothing is the one the world cannot rule. Because you can't manipulate someone who has stopped bargaining for joy. Look around. Everything is designed to keep you reaching. New goals, new identities, new distractions. And the moment you slow down, the system whispers that you're falling behind. But falling behind what? Behind people who are also running in circles? Behind an idea of success that was never yours. The truth is, most of what you fear losing was never real. It was constructed to keep you moving. Watts spoke often about death, not as an end, but as a mirror. He said that when you truly understand impermanence, you stop clinging. You stop mistaking comfort for meaning. Because if everything is bound to pass, the only freedom is to love without possession, to live without demand. When nothing needs to be permanent, everything becomes precious. That's the secret power of letting go. When you stop negotiating with life, you start living it. When you no longer expect it to guarantee happiness, you find that peace was never missing, only buried beneath your resistance. You don't need to escape the world to be free. You just need to stop being bribed by its promises. I am unbribable by promises. You've reached the crossroads now, the place where the illusion either tightens around you or falls apart completely. You have two paths in front of you. On the first path, you keep chasing. You keep believing that happiness lives somewhere ahead of you. In the next achievement, the next purchase, the next validation that tells you you're finally enough. You follow the crowd, running faster on the same wheel, calling exhaustion progress and distraction peace. You might collect more things, more followers, more noise, but deep down you'll know that you're still waiting. On the second path, you stop. You stop bargaining with life. You stop letting the world define what joy should look like. You stop postponing peace until conditions are perfect. Instead, you walk slower. You breathe deeper. You begin to see that happiness was never something to catch. It was something to notice. The race ends the moment you refuse to keep running. Alan Watts said that the man who no longer clings is the man who is free. The world cannot tempt someone who has nothing left to prove. And maybe that's why society fears people who find peace. Because you can't manipulate a person who doesn't need what you're selling. So choose. Keep chasing what fades, or stand still long enough to see what never left. The world doesn't fear the miserable. It fears the man who no longer needs happiness to live, because that man can't be controlled. I stop chasing, I start seeing, I coordinate with life. I am unbribable by promises. If this message reached you, it's because a part of you is already tired of running. You've seen the pattern. The promises, the pressure, the endless chase disguised as purpose. You've tasted every version of when I get there, and it's never enough. Maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're just done believing the lie. You were never meant to live on a leash of conditions. You were meant to move with life, not against it. To feel deeply, not constantly perform. To see, not chase. Alan Watts said that freedom begins when you stop fighting the current, when you let the river carry you instead of drowning in your own resistance. So let this be the moment you stop measuring joy and start experiencing it. Let this be where the pursuit ends and presence begins. If this video loosened even one screw in the machinery that keeps you chasing, don't let it tighten again. Leave a comment, say, "I stopped chasing." It's not for the algorithm, it's a reminder for you. Subscribe to ThinkMate, and each week we'll keep pulling threads from the illusions you were taught to worship. Success, happiness, control. Until what remains is what's real, not what sells. Stop chasing, start seeing. That's where freedom lives.